A man in India sleeps 300 days a year. Imagine if a full night's sleep felt like a treasure that you could hardly ever find. For many of us, getting a solid 8 hours of sleep can be tough because of our busy lives. But there are some people, like a man in India, who face a different problem. A condition called hypersomnia that makes them sleep too much. This isn't a choice, it's a medical issue. Hypersomnia is a sleep disorder where you're overly tired during the day and sleep excessively at night. It's the opposite of insomnia, where people struggle to fall asleep. In the case of this man, he spends about 300 days each year in a deep slumber. This isn't a dreamy vacation, it's a nightmare that disrupts his life. He can't work, enjoy time with loved ones, or even do simple daily tasks. Living with extreme hypersomnia is tough, both physically and mentally. Imagine feeling like you're missing out on life because you're always drowsy. Keep watching down to unravel the story of Purkaram from India, the man with an unbelievable sleeping disorder. In the life of Purkaram, sleep is not just a daily ritual, it's a relentless curse that has plagued him for years. A man in his mid-40s, hailing from the picturesque Nagaur district in the Indian state of Rajasthan, Purkaram is living a life overshadowed by a medical anomaly that defies comprehension. At the core of his affliction lies an exceedingly rare and baffling condition known as hypersomnia. This peculiar condition, which is the bane of his existence, typically arises from an unusual alteration or fluctuation in the levels of a protein found in the human brain called TNF-alpha. The condition is so rare that only a handful of medical professionals worldwide have encountered it, making Purkaram's plight even more enigmatic and isolating. For most of us, sleep is a rejuvenating experience, a nightly respite that allows us to recharge our bodies and minds. However, for Purkaram, sleep is not a choice or a luxury. It is an involuntary sentence that shackles him for extended periods of time. A typical month for him is fraught with 20 to 25 days of continuous slumber, a nightmarish ordeal that defies the boundaries of what is considered normalcy. In a cruel twist of fate, Purkaram's version of a normal life has become confined to the mere days in a month when he manages to break free from the suffocating grasp of sleep. On these precious days, he struggles to reclaim some semblance of a regular existence. It's a race against time as he rushes to accomplish the tasks and responsibilities that most of us take for granted. His existence becomes a frenzied frenzy of activity during these short-lived periods of wakefulness, as he attempts to squeeze a month's worth of living into just a few days. One of the most astonishing aspects of Purkaram's condition is his ability to carry out daily activities while in a state of slumber. It's a phenomenon that baffles medical experts and leaves those who witness it in awe. In his perpetual quest to lead a semblance of a life, he has mastered the art of functioning while asleep. Showering, eating, and even engaging in rudimentary conversations become routine tasks that he accomplishes while in a sleep-induced trance. His family, who have been his unwavering support throughout this harrowing journey, recall a time when Purkaram's affliction was slightly more manageable. In the early days, he would fall into a deep slumber that lasted a mere 7 to 8 days at a stretch. Although it was far from ordinary, his condition allowed for some semblance of a regular life during the remaining days of the month. But with the passage of time, the relentless grip of hypersomnia tightened its hold on him, transforming his existence into an unending cycle of sleep and wakefulness. The most heart-wrenching aspect of Purkaram's ordeal is the sheer impossibility of rousing him from his prolonged slumber. No amount of effort, cajoling, or medical intervention can coax him out of his deep sleep once he succumbs to it. It's as if he enters a realm of unconsciousness, so profound that it defies the very essence of wakefulness. In those desperate moments when his family watches him in silent anguish, they can only hope and pray for the brief windows of wakefulness that offer a fleeting glimpse of the man they love. Purkaram's life is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming adversity. Despite the overwhelming odds stacked against him, he continues to fight for those precious moments of wakefulness. His family stands by him, providing unwavering support and love, doing everything in their power to ensure that his limited waking hours are filled with joy and purpose. Medical researchers are also intrigued by Perkaram's condition, viewing it as a unique opportunity to unravel the mysteries of hypersomnia and its connection to TNF-alpha. While his case remains extraordinarily rare, it serves as a reminder that there is still much we don't understand about the complexities of the human brain and sleep disorders. Before Perkaram's illness was diagnosed, his life was like a complicated puzzle, and it left his family puzzled too. They couldn't figure out why he would fall asleep all the time, even while working. What was even stranger is that once he fell asleep, nothing could wake him up. His family had to bring him back home and feed him while he was still asleep. Around 25 years ago, doctors finally identified what was wrong with him. They said he had a rare kind of hypersomnia. It's a condition where a person feels excessively sleepy during the day and can't stay awake even when they should. In Perkaram's case, it was extreme. He would just doze off unexpectedly, which made it tough for him to work or lead a normal life. After the diagnosis, things started to make more sense. His family and doctors worked together to find ways to help him. It was like finding the missing piece of the puzzle. Although life remained challenging, at least now they had a name for the problem and could explore ways to manage it better. Hypersomnia is a complex condition where people struggle to stay awake and alert during the day, even when they've had a good night's sleep. Imagine feeling incredibly tired, almost like you're being pulled into sleep throughout the day, no matter how much you rest at night. This condition doesn't just make you feel groggy. It can mess up your work, your social life, and even lead to accidents. In this in-depth discussion, we'll explore what hypersomnia is, why it happens, its symptoms, and what can be done to help. To understand hypersomnia, think of it as a supercharged version of regular tiredness. When you're tired from a lack of sleep, you might yawn, have trouble concentrating, and feel a bit sluggish. But with hypersomnia, it's like your body constantly wants to shut down and sleep, no matter how much rest you've had at night. This can disrupt your daily activities and make it nearly impossible to lead a normal life. If you have a job that involves heavy machinery or demands high concentration, this condition can even be life-threatening. The signs of hypersomnia are more than just feeling a bit drowsy. People with hypersomnia often sleep much longer than the typical 7 to 9 hours recommended for adults. When they do manage to wake up, it's usually a struggle, and they might find themselves taking frequent naps during the day. These daytime naps can be a real problem, making them confused, irritable, and anxious. Hypersomnia can also affect their appetite and sometimes lead to hallucinations, which are when people see or hear things that aren't there. Now let's talk about why hypersomnia happens. Unfortunately, we don't have all the answers. It's a bit like a mystery with many possible culprits. Some of these could include conditions like sleep apnea, which involves trouble breathing during sleep or using too many drugs or alcohol. Being overweight or dealing with depression might also increase the risk. Even certain medications or head injuries can be to blame. What's puzzling is that only a small percentage of people, around 4% to 6% of the world's population, experience hypersomnia, according to the National Center for Biotechnology Information, NCBI. The biggest challenge with hypersomnia is that there's no one-size-fits-all cure. Because there are so many possible causes, treatment can vary a lot from one person to another. Some people, like Perkaram, face a rare and stubborn form of hypersomnia that doesn't respond well to usual treatments. They might still feel overwhelmingly sleepy despite trying various therapies. However, there is hope. Doctors have seen some success in helping people with hypersomnia. Sometimes through lifestyle changes like improving sleep habits and using carefully chosen medications, individuals can get relief. It's not easy and it might take time, but it's possible. For someone like Perkaram, the journey to feeling better can be incredibly tough. His wife, Likmi Devi, and his mother, Kinvari Devi, stand by his side, hoping that he'll one day break free from the constant grip of hypersomnia. They dream of a future where he can fully enjoy life, not just in his dreams. The good news is that there's hope for those with hypersomnia.